So you have been releasing tracks for a few years now, and with recently, obviously, your All My Demons Greeting Me as Friends came out, or as a friend came out. How does it feel to finally have a full album out there in the public?
It feels very, very nice because I'm definitely more an album person than a single person, because with an album you have way more power, especially on a few tracks. You can do what you want, just be creative and don't listen to, because with singles you always want to. With a single, there is a business part, and you want the single to, what's the word, to manage something, I guess.
Yeah,
like to get on radio or to get
It has a purpose.
deals. It has a purpose.
Yeah.
But with my album, many of the songs has no purpose. They're just made to be, because I needed to make them.
It's just a piece of
which
you.
Which is much more, which I feel much more comfortable with. Songs that's just there to be music.
Very cool. And with the album being out there, I mean, it's been a few months since it's been released. How do you see that being received by the crowds when you're out there? Do you see, more people, I guess, know the words, or they kind of, maybe you feel there was a song that you thought people would like more, and they're really attaching themselves to another song, kind of thing, or?
I'm very proud of my fans for liking the songs I would hope they would like.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very happy that they didn't only like the Conqueror or
the singles or
Running with the Wolves, which are nice live on festivals when people are talking. I'm very happy that I have those songs where I can just be alive.
Yeah.
But it's very important for me to that people listens to the other songs, the more Aurora songs, and like Home and Blackwater Lilies and Under the Water and Eyes of a Child and Murder Song. The more like special songs. I'm very happy that people like them, and I'm very overwhelmed by the good feedback for my album. It's been such a great a relief, because as many people, we are very hard against ourselves, and I always wanted everything to be better, like more, with more even more soul. But it's almost impossible to get the same energy we have live on the record, but that is still my mission. I'm trying to
match the same thing.
To have the same power.
Very cool. And I imagine, putting a piece of yourself out there, you're open, you're very vulnerable. And then to have people come back and reciprocate, to say, we love this, and this, that's got to be a pretty amazing feeling.
Oh, it feels nice.
Yeah. So you did a cover. I mean, it was on the latest album, but it was like an extra song. Your cover of Oasis, Half the World Away. Completely beautiful. Changed the song completely. It really just highlighted just how beautiful the song is. You took it to a different level. How did you go about selecting that song? Was that just a song that you loved, or you just felt it fit with everything else you were doing at the time? Or?
Well, actually, I didn't choose the song.
Oh.
But I'm glad that someone told me about the song, because it's a very nice song, and I like the lyrics.
Yeah.
I think it's a song many people can recognize themselves into, which is a beautiful ability for a song to have. And we got this mail from the John Lewis crew, and I thought John Lewis was a man, so I didn't even know what commercial, what the company was. But apparently it is a chain store or something in the UK, and they have this Christmas commercial. And at first I thought it was kind of strange, because I don't do commercials, so it's kind of like a strange thing. But then I heard the song they wanted, and I thought, oh, this is nice. It's very human.
Okay, yeah.
And when I heard about the idea for the video, or the commercial video, and that they were planning to give money to the elder people and make sure that they're taken care of, and that no one is lonely, which I think is one of the most important things in life. So I just thought, let's do it, and then we made. It was quite obvious that the song should be very vulnerable.
It is very vulnerable, the song.
I didn't want it to take too much attention from the visuals, because it's an important message.
Yeah. It's very well done. I just wondered how
Thank
when
you.
that's
Yeah.
it makes sense that it's but it fits very well with what you do.
Thank you.
You also have a wonderful cover of David Bowie's Life on Mars that I've seen a few different videos of. Are there any other covers of songs, or any other songs that you would love to cover live, or love to record a cover of?
I do really like The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. I think that's it.
That would be very fitting.
Because I really like more older songs.
Yeah.
And I'm very loyal if I find, like, if I have some artists, some music that it reminds me of my childhood, I'm still just sticking with those people. So I'm very bad at discovering new, which I should be much better at. But I don't have Spotify or iTunes, so I don't know how to. But I do buy records sometimes if I see something that makes me feel like maybe
you should
would
check
be
it.
something magical. So I'll buy it and listen to it. But I like to listen to records if I'm finding something new. Did I answer your question now?
Yeah, no, that totally answers it. Simon Garfunkel's Sound of Silence.
Yes, maybe that one. I love that song.
It's a beautiful song. But yeah, it would just fit so well with your whole aesthetic too. I could see that cover working out very well. Being from Norway, and now you're obviously out in North America, do you see any big differences between the crowds out in, say, Europe, Norway, compared to North America here?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Norway is, I guess, a bit like people in Seattle, actually. But like people in LA, they moved a lot. And if you hit like a high note or screams, then they go woo, And in Norway, they can be very we are very respectful.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's always very quiet, like 5 seconds after I'm done. And then, is she done? Okay, applause, So it's very
formal.
Yeah, it's very formal in Norway, but they move a bit, but I think they need some help with moving.
But you found Seattle to be similar to that, very respectful?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
But like LA, people move a lot, at least what I've seen, and in Portland as well. So, but I guess like basically in the whole of the States, people just move a bit more. They're not afraid of
connect to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just show themselves. They don't care about anything else. Just in the
which
moment.
I think is something we could all learn something from.
Yeah, I mean, it's very good to just let yourself be free. I mean, that's what music should be, is to experience it as freely as you can. I was looking back through your tour dates, and I couldn't see any previous time that you'd been to Vancouver. Is this your first time in Vancouver?
Yes.
It is?
It's my first time in Canada at all.
Oh, really?
And I'm really excited. I was so excited in the car today while we were driving. I was like, yeah, we're going to Canada for the first time. But I don't know why, but I had a feeling that I would really like Canada. And it's nice to be here. I don't know, it just feels like a bit more connected to home than the rest of them.
And the rest of the States or North America, yeah.
So
I can see that connection.
It's just like, I don't know what it is, but I definitely like it here, even though I've been here in a few hours.
Yeah. That's not bad, but that's good. We love to have you and love to have you back again. One of the things that we ask everybody, are there any maybe lesser known artists or maybe underappreciated artists? It could be music, art, it could be painters, writers, anything that you are inspired by that you think people should check out.
I definitely like this band called Bunny Suit.
Bunny Suit?
Which I think they have 1,000 likes on Facebook. If that's, I don't know how you measure but at least they have on the Facebook thing they have 1,000, something like that. And they have this song called The Way, which is a really beautiful song.
And whereabouts are Bunny Suit
I
from?
think they are British, but they're based in Germany, which is great. And then Asbjørn, he's from Denmark. He's this great guy, and he's such a good. I think he can inspire many boys and girls in the same situation as he is to just be themselves, to not be afraid of of showing who they really are, which I think is great.
It's pretty important too.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's perfect. The last thing we have to ask, or the last thing we have to ask, we work with an organization called Music Heals, and they help bring music therapy to people that can benefit from the therapy, from music therapy. And one of the things they ask is for artists to basically just finish this sentence, and it helps get their name out there. And the sentence is, "Music makes me," and then you just fill in the rest.
Okay, so music makes me. Am I just going to feel? Am I not going to say the feel? Am I just saying?
You can say music makes me
Feel.
feel. You could say music makes. That could be it. Period.
Music makes me feel. Oh, but what? Oh, it makes me feel everything. Like everything in between. It makes me feel everything between devastation and love, which I think is a big range.
It is a huge range.
Or is it the same thing? Love and devastation could easily be the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think love is like, it's a really good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so I guess the music makes me feel everything between love and devastation, just everything.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's awesome. That's all the questions I
You're a
have.
really what's the word? Comfortable? No. Yeah, I guess comfortable
Hairy?
person. Hairy. You have a Viking beard.
Yeah.
We like that in Norway.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
You're really like a comfortable guy to talk to.
Perfect. Thank you.
Really
I appreciate
calm,
that very much.
Which is special.
I prefer to. They call it interview, but I prefer just the term chat. Just having
but
a chat.
it feels like that with you because
Thank you
you
very much.
answer it. It's not like,
Yeah.
okay, so what's the plan for?
Yeah.
So that's very nice.
Very much. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your time. And I
Thank
hope
you
that
for your time.
Have a wonderful show tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.